The Republican National Committee has raised an impressive $20.8 million in July, a record for a July non-election year. That money will go to supporting Republican candidates all across the country, but also for President Trump's re-election efforts. And according to a new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, the president may need all the help he can get. Our first read analysis paints a picture of a vulnerable incumbent president who since 2016 has lost 3 points with male voters, 19 with women, 19 with white voters who don't have a college degree, and maybe most worrisome for the White House, he's lost 23 points with independents. Joining me is Republican strategist and MSNBC political analyst Rick Tyler and politics editor of The Root and MSNBC political contributor Jason Johnson. So maybe we'll call it mixed news for the president, Rick. Excellent fundraising numbers, but not so good polling. Can the first one help improve the second?
Look, I think so. Yeah, well, let me start here. So the president, the main criticism of him has been that he is not adding to his coalition. He sticks with his base, and he's only going to stick with his base. He doesn't expand his base. So as you put those numbers on the screen, he's lost 23 points with independents. He's lost 22 points with white college educated. He's lost 19 points with white uneducated or non-college educated. That's a group that he did surprisingly well with. He lost 19% among women, 15% among whites, and everything else is pretty much, he's down in every single category. Now, of course, all these poll numbers are taken against a sort of a generic candidate, and as you say, the Republican National Committee raised $21 million in an off-year election. That's good news for Trump. It's not really good news for the Republican Party because you can be sure that when Trump is in trouble, the money is going to go to protect the president and not Republican incumbency. So that's good news for Democrats. But that kind of money, like hundreds of millions of dollars, it looks like the Republicans will be able to spend against the eventual nominee, that can damage a person's reputation significally. Look at Trump. It's very hard to damage his reputation because his reputation is already so bad. But any of the Democratic national candidate, anybody who's a nominee on the Democratic side can really get hurt. Yeah, remember, Jason, in the beginning of the presidency when he first started doing some of the tweeting and making some of the comments, and they said, oh, he's hurting himself with suburban women. Well, women are obviously one of the drivers of the president's bad poll numbers, down 19 points, but also it just goes on and on. Men, whites, African Americans, Latinos, independents. How do you fix a wholesale slide, even with the kind of money that the RNC is bringing in and that his own campaign reelect is bringing in?
You can't. You can't. This is the Titanic. I mean, it's already hit the rock, which is Trump's own behavior and policy, and now it's sinking. Now, does it mean it's going to sink completely underground by the time we get to 2020 and the election? I don't know. But any president, very rarely does a president actually increase their vote share the second time around. I mean, it happened with Bush, but that's because we had 9/11. But Obama went down, and Trump's going to go down. So he's not going to be able to really fix these numbers. All he can hope to do is run against a Democrat who he can drag down as well. But I have been saying this all along. Donald Trump is not likely to be lucky enough to run against Hillary Clinton again. He's not going to run against someone who has a 30-year history of being attacked and having a sort of acrimonious relationship with the press. So usually I would say, losing to the generic Democrat doesn't mean anything for Trump. But, I mean, he's got nothing but generic people he's running against next year. None of them are going to create the kind of anger that was elicited towards Hillary Clinton. He is actually in trouble for once. And if the economy goes down, he's in serious trouble.
Meantime, we have some new reporting out of his inner circle. The New Yorker uncovering the old video of Secretary of State Pompeo criticizing Trump when he was a candidate in 2016. Compare what you're going to hear to how he talks about the president now.
Donald Trump the other day said that, quote, if he tells a soldier to commit a war crime, the soldier will just go do it. He said, they'll do as I tell them to do. We've spent 7.5 years with an authoritarian president who ignored our Constitution. We don't need 4 more years of that.
I've enjoyed the privilege of working for President Trump. The comments from back in 2016, it was a tough political campaign, and when I'm on your team, I am all in, as I was. And when my candidate left, I was all in for President Trump then as well, and I'm in for America today.
All in, Jason. Will President Trump buy that, or could Pompeo be getting a phone call?
No, I mean, look, the reality is most of the people in the White House don't really like Donald Trump, unless it's Stephen Miller, because he's getting his policies pushed through. Every other month, we're getting leaks from people saying, oh, my gosh, this guy is crazy. We don't trust him. So this doesn't surprise me. He may get chewed out for half a minute, but there are literally dozens of people in the White House right now, in the Republican Party right now, who do not like the behavior of this president, who do not like the ethics of this president, but they will support him and they will do anything they can to get him reelected because he's pushing through the policies that they want. So this doesn't surprise me. This could be the case with half a dozen people there.
Rick, we only have 30 seconds left, but you make anything of the fact that Scaramucci has now turned against the president?
No, I mean, look, if it was John Kelly turning against the president, I might listen to him, but look, Scaramucci was in the White House for 10 days. He was
11. Don't
11.
Don't
Sorry,
undersell it.
Yeah. And he got fired by the president. So, no, I don't put a lot of credence in now saying, oh, gee, I was right, put me on TV. Or I was wrong. I was wrong. He was wrong.
And I think we recall that John Kelly at one point called him an idiot. So I
think it was worse than that.
Was it maybe worse? Rick Tyler, thank you. Jason Johnson, you're back later in the hour.